We're going to keep going. About 25 products we're going to air into 2 hours together, more than in any other show.
Well, I wanted to cover a lot of ground because we had two Today specials over the weekend on Saturday night and all on Sunday, that it took up a lot of our time to really discuss them fully. So this is a great opportunity to cover a lot of ground.
It's why I took my CoQ10 earlier. I need the stamina, I need the energy, I need to keep going. And we're excited to do it. We're excited to share these wonderful products with you. I say this, if my mom was here, she would push me out the way, and she would not be shy, and she would look in the camera and say, everybody at home in America, buy Andrew's Circulation and Vein Support. This is the one product that my mom always stocks up on when she comes to visit. From the appearance of her legs and veins, to not having that heavy, tired feeling, the swollen calves, the heavy legs, the tired feet. So many of us struggle every single day. I know she certainly did. This, for my mom, changed her life. She's not alone. There are 2,500 five-star reviews. And Andrew, life-changing is not something I say delicately. This really can make a positive difference in somebody's life.
And what's exciting, it's not 2,500 five-star reviews out of 4 or 5 or 6,000, which would be fantastic. It's 2,500 five-star reviews out of about 3,000, I bet.
Indeed, 3,200.
So it's a product that, again, over 80% of the reviews are 5-star. Over 90% are 4 and 5 stars. So it's a product that delivers in a remarkable way. It is, all of my products are unique for what they are. So they're unique and different from a relatively similar product in the market. There is nothing like this product in the market at all. The comprehensive nature, the specific way we produce and prepare each and every raw material that goes into this product. And if you have the issues that all of us have to some degree, I think none of us escape this as we get older, because the blood vessels in our legs are the most challenged blood vessels likely in our body. But whether it's heavy legs, restless legs, those legs that just don't seem to want to relax with you, whether it's muscle spasms or cramps at night, or just legs that are fatigued, that interfere with your willingness, your desire to do the activities you'd like to do. This is a product that performs and performs brilliantly. Originally, it was all about diosmin, 500 milligrams of diosmin. Yeah. We have since increased the diosmin by 20%. We have also improved its granulation dramatically, which also increases its potency. So effectively, it almost has double the diosmin of the original product 25 years ago, double the efficacy of diosmin. Then we added butcher's broom and horse chestnut. All three of these ingredients, diosmin, butcher's broom, horse chestnut, these are not natural ingredients that have no science. These all three have abundant, voluminous clinical support. So this is a product that was amazing 25 years ago. It is unparalleled and unsurpassed today. And so if you have feelings in your legs that you didn't have when you were younger, and you'd like an opportunity to turn back the clock, what's great about this product also, I should have mentioned this with Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nails, usually I'd say 90% of the folks who get it, 30 days is ample time to see the benefits. Yeah. But now, with a money-back guarantee till January 31st, that's over 100 days. Yeah. Everyone has an opportunity to see the benefits with Circulation and Vein Support or Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nails, or whatever product you choose. So it's really a wonderful gift that HSN gives everyone, gives me, to let you fully experience the benefits of a remarkable product like this.
And the pricing for the anniversary for the weekend special, $30, $60, $180, or $360. Obviously, the $360 gives you the most savings, just $89.90. Honestly, if my mom was here, she'd say, forget about this, because it is priceless. She'd pay any amount of money to get the feeling that she gets and the look and the appearance that she has so wanted, so she feels more youthful. But she's not alone. Again, the reviews, I'll read a couple of them so you can see. First one, amazing product is the title. I bought this item 2 months ago. I bought 30 days worth and just ordered the biggest bottle. I cannot express the difference I have seen in my legs. Thank you, Andrew. You're amazing. I hope anyone who has leg circulation issues tries it. You will be amazed. Next one, love this product. After suffering from aching and tingling legs so bad, I knew I had to find something that could help me on a daily basis. I ordered a bottle of circulation and vein support and began taking them. By the end of the first day, my legs were feeling so good, I knew that I would not be without them any longer. If you are having any issues with your legs, such as tiredness, tingling, cramping, heaviness, and discomfort, I strongly urge you to try these. Andrew, I think so many of us, and again, I say this about my mum because it's the truth, you almost write it off. You don't feel that anything can help, you know, but you don't know unless you try.
I know that certainly applied to me. It wasn't aging that was causing my issues. It was my training, my cycling, my running. So I figured the way my legs felt at the end of the day was just the way it was.
Right.
And I think we all look at aging the same way. It's just the way it is. We don't realize there's a natural product. It's not a drug. It's not a medicine. It's a completely natural product that can transform our experience and transform the way our legs look, the way our feet, ankles, and calves in particular look, and the way they feel. And that's something that I completely doubted this product. I was the skeptic, but then I read the science, and it was a lot of science even 25 years ago, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll give it a try. And for me, it was life-changing. It transformed my ability to train, to work out, to recover. So I think